topic. When it comes to the dollar yen, nobody pays more attention than people on this trading floor, and we've definitely seen close to a 102 test on the greenback. But it's not only the U.S. currency. How is Asia outside of Japan going to cope with the weaker yen, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think this is very interesting, and I think it's something that's not on investors' radar screens right now, but will be at some point. Look, I think if you look at how the Asian currencies have performed against the yen since the yen weakening policy began, then you've seen something like a 35% gain in the value of the Chinese yuan and 30% gains by Korean won and Taiwan dollar. And obviously, you know, the equity markets have performed relative to Japan extremely weakly in those countries. Now, look, I think you can see a scenario where if we get to new highs on the yen, the other Asian countries are going to get fed up with a weak yen still in their lunch and export markets. And look, I understand all the arguments about there's not a 100% overlap in the export markets of these different countries versus Japan, but there is some export overlap, and it's going to start eating into margins more than ever the weaker the yen gets. And let's as well, Rick, think about the political angle here. Now, what's happened, I think, recently with the Senkaku or Diaoyu Islands, depending on what you want to call them, and the air defense zone that the Chinese put in place, could be very relevant for markets going forward. And you know, we've seen yesterday when we sent the B-52s on a little joyride over that there is going to be some pressure from the Chinese relative to Japan. I think if they weaken the yen further, at some point China may well react with a weaker yuan.